So with that being said, so my big announcement is kind of when I kind of want to be on here, just like to tell everyone.
Love, business is business, take it back to the basics. Multi-million cash, the feeling's amazing. Got a Porsche inside my stable, don't horse with me, baby. 20 plus in my field, I'm like Coke with the Lakers. It's like I'm touring the Sprinter, doing these road trips, 3 days. Close for more M's, I stay on it. When you step on the premise, just know I own this. Collaborate inside of my district, it's for the owners. They can't do in the pun, it's the true 101. How I conduct business, you just might learn.
What's going on, Collab District? We're back with another episode of the Collab District podcast, man. I got one of the young OGs with me today. I got the owner of Cmpnd District and half of the Gourmet District. I got Mr. Frankie Guzman with me today on the podcast. How you doing, man?
How's it going, man? How's it going?
Pretty good, man. Man, I've known you since you were in high school, kid.
Yeah.
Seen you grown for a long time. That's why I called you a young OG. Like we were just talking. You said you've been in business now 14 years.
14 years, yes. I graduated high school.
That's an amazing feat, man. But take me back, like growing up in Oxnard, you know, like what was it like, your upbringing as far as you got siblings, single parent household, you had both your parents, like, you know, what let's take it back to the origin.
Yeah, so I grew up in Oxnard. I was born in Burbank.
Okay.
My dad is I guess he was a cop. He just retired this year or last year. So he was in Burbank, and then we moved to Colonia. So I lived there for, I don't know, a couple years, and then we moved out to Oxnard. And then, but yeah, my whole childhood, just remember being in Colonia, just being raised by my grandparents.
Okay.
So when they would just babysit us and stuff like that. So
you the only child, or you got siblings?
I got a little sister.
Little sister?
Yeah, just us two.
So what was that like being a big brother? I also have a sister that's 10 years younger than me. You had to early on take on like that protector and provider at some point because, you know, parents got to work and you got to watch your little siblings.
Yeah, there's some things that would happen like when we get babysat by our grandparents, and things would happen outside, and I just make sure she wouldn't see those things because even though, I mean, she probably so small you don't think she'll remember them, but you never know.
Yeah, I mean, growing up in Colonia, back then it was a rough time.
Yeah.
I mean, in some respects it could be now.
Yeah.
But I definitely understand that. And growing up, what did your parents or your grandparents do?
My grandparents, they were from Mexico, but then they worked their whole lives, and then they, by the time we were born, they were like tired already.
Okay.
So my mom worked full time. My dad worked full time, and he was LAPD, and then so basically got babysat by them, and just it was good. And then we went to OLG.
Okay. Catholic school
in
Colonia.
Catholic school my whole life.
Okay. Yeah.
So I went there, and then it was a good upbringing. They basically raised us really well, like got everything we needed. Mm-hmm. It was good. So
you started Cmpnd District, a fashion brand, streetwear. I don't even classify it as, I just think of Cmpnd District as a brand. Like I said, it's been around for so long now, for 14 years. Like, you know, where did that inspiration come from? Like, my inspiration to be an entrepreneur came from family. You know, I'm a third-generation contractor, and I got to see my uncles, you know, be entrepreneurs, which, you know, sparked that into me. Where did that spark come from you, especially at such a young age?
I think it started once I got into high school. I basically never really wanted it. I stopped asking for money, like either be for lunch, for clothes, for shirts, just anything really. I mean, we had uniform and stuff, but in the day, like on the weekend, just go to the movies, anything. I just never hate asking for money because I just like. Because once we do ask for money and then I get in trouble, then they're like, okay, we're going to take this away from you. You know what I mean? Like, they kind of hold over your head. I mean, as they should. I mean, you're growing up and learn lessons.
They got to teach you.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it on my own. So I started drawing on everything. Like, I would for, like, Sadies and prom or just basically Sadies. Matching T-shirts, backpacks. So I did a bunch of graffiti on those. And they'd pay me. And, like, for just doing a bunch of art. Really, like tagging backpacks and shoes, stuff like that. Yeah. So basically, just from there and just saving my money, and then ended up getting arrested for doing graffiti. Okay. For my sophomore year, I was 15, maybe like a month away from being 16. From there, and just somehow it got worse. I didn't really get in more trouble, but I kind of got heavier into it.
In the graffiti?
Yeah.
Did you, were you a part like back then too, it was like the tagging crews were a thing. Like they were almost, as prominent as like gangs, right? Yeah.
Back then, like 2007 or 8, somewhere in there, it was heavy. Like everywhere you went, there was a crew.
Yeah, tagging crews.
There was more crews and gangs. It was just insane. So we walked down the street, we like getting booked. Like, where you from? Where you write? And depending what you said, and so whatever went down.
Yeah.
But I was in a bunch of crews. Actually, not a bunch. I was in 2.
Mm-hmm. I
had my own, and then I was in one of the biggest crews in Oxnard for a while, and then basically everyone kept getting arrested. All their homies, so it kind of died out. Yeah, they either arrested or ended up passing away, right? Like, unfortunately. Yeah, so that happened, and they started up again, but by then I was like already over it. So I was like, I'm too old for this. And then senior year came, and then everyone's like, obviously going to college, figure out like where they're gonna go. Everyone's doing like entrance stuff, and I'm like, me just fucking around, not doing anything. I'm like, what am I gonna do with my life? Yeah. So FITM comes, and I was like, in New York. FITM LA. LA. Yeah. Because is there FITM in New York too? Like that's an art school though, right? Yeah, I think that's Art Institute or something. There's Parsons up there as well. I got you. Okay. There's one in FITM in Orange County. Got it. So I didn't even want to go to community college because like I didn't like school. I hated school. Like I can relate. I just did not like it. It just every day in class I was just drawing on the paper, getting in trouble. I don't know. Somehow I passed. I mean, well, yeah, like you're going to school for like history and geology and shit like that. That's like I feel, I'm nothing against school, but like I feel like I never use that. Yeah. Again, not in my lifetime. You know, it's like I didn't like school either. I went to school after high school just to play sports. Yeah. I was going to Ventura College in OC for a little bit just because I was on the basketball team. Yeah. But I had no desire to go to school. It's not fun. No. But I mean, I did my best still because my parents are paying a lot of money for tuition. So she's like, my mom's like, what she say? She's like, if you want to drive, if you want to have like a license or whatever, like you have to get 3.0 to get good grades for insurance. Oh, it's like the cheaper insurance. And that's how she baited you. Yeah. So I graduated with 3.0. I got like all B's, so that worked out for me. From FITM? No, that was from high school. From high school. And then after that, so they're like, so FITM came, they talked to the whole school. They gave us like a little postcard. They're like, oh, fill out whatever little section you're interested in. So I was like, me messing around, still not caring, checked all the things, gave my email, and just, they kept calling me. I was like, you know what? Let's see what they're about. Yeah. And then toured the campus, and then kind of got more and more interested, and then told me they got to do an entrance project. And then I did that. And that took me like literally all summer, like 6 months. It was insane. I had no idea, any idea of Photoshop, Illustrator, nothing. Even till this day, I really don't think I'm computer savvy at all. Yeah. I just know what to do and where to do, and that's it. Yeah. So through those programs, you were forced to kind of at least learn the basics of those type of programs. Those programs are very useful and powerful now. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Now I'm like really fast at it. I'm not the best, but you can get your job done. Yeah. For what I need to do, it works really well. Correct. Because they do so much. You don't have to learn exactly. You just need to learn what it needs to do for you. Yeah. Yeah. So I did that, and when I had the meeting for the entrance project, she was telling me like this is probably one of the best entrance projects we ever received. Like it was crazy. Wow. And then I made friends like my freshman year, and they're like, yeah. I was like, how long did it take you to do your entrance project? They're like, it took me like a week. They did like the day before type thing. Like they must have known Illustrator, Photoshop before I did, or something, or they just didn't care. But yeah, I put all my into it, and definitely showed. So when you turned in your project, and this is probably one of your first artistic projects, right? Yeah. And you're, the person that you turned it into told you, she was very impressed. Like, how did that make you feel? Like, did that give you some type of extra confidence? Because, like, we need that, like, validation, right? To, like, am I doing the right thing? Like, am I walking in the right path? And, like, if you don't get that validation from somebody, like, do we ever know if we're walking in the right direction? Yeah. Especially at a young age. Yeah. It definitely helped. I was surprised. I was scared. I was like, oh, fuck, it's not good enough. Yeah. I was tripping out. But then she said that. I was like, all right, just like, actually might have a chance at what I'm doing. And then I was like, oh, head up high, like confidence. First day of school, right back to zero. they were like, look, I didn't know that all these kids that they went to high school, they got introduction to Photoshop and Illustrator, so they had like a little bit.
The basics.
I had no idea how to even, and it was all Apple. At Santa Clara, it was all like Windows and stuff like that. So
yeah,
I didn't even know how to make a new file, a new folder, nothing. I was just like, I was a kid holding the class every day. Like, can you repeat what you said over and over? So, but yeah, every day I just like 10 hours a day just going at it.
And how long did that program take? A couple years?
About 2.5 years. I took a quarter off.
Okay.
And then about 2 years fully, but it took 2.5. It was crazy. It was basically because I lived in Oxnard, and I rode with my dad because he worked in LA, so down the street from him. So wake up at 5, be gone by 6, get to LA by 7.
Got to beat the traffic, right?
Exactly. Dude,
better be there early. Yeah.
If you leave at 6:15, 2-hour traffic. Leave at 6. You're good.
Yeah. I know the traffic flow well.
It was nuts. So yeah. So I'd sleep in the car for an hour. He'd take me to school, and then from 8 to 11:30 was one class. From 12 to I think 3 was another class, and then from 3 to 6 was another class. And I'd go home, and then my dad would drive me home. But that was for maybe the first 6 months, and I got a car. Then I would drive home, another 2 hours in traffic, go to the lab, make some money off selling compound for some gas money, and then just to get gas for the next day, and then go home and do homework, go to sleep by 2, and do it all over again. It was insane.
So at that time, you're already building this work ethic, you know what I mean, and that, because we all have those moments as entrepreneurs where you got to just push through, on the days where you don't feel like it, you know, and those type of cycles that you went through early, you don't know it at the time because I'm sure at the time, especially young, you're itching and complaining, I got to do this, I got to, you know what I mean? But it instills something into you that you later tap into in life. And you mentioned Compound District 14 years ago. What does Compound District mean? Why Compound District as a brand name?
So Compound District, I didn't think of the name. It's my cousin Brian. He had the brand in high school. And he basically his idea or his meaning was his house was the place to be at, the compound. You know, this is everyone hangs out at. So me growing up as a kid, he was older than me, and I'd always go to his house, and he'd have all these parties, high school people, and I'm I don't even know, 6th, 7th grade. It was it looks crazy, movies.
It's popping.
Yeah, it's popping. I'm damn. I'm this is lit. So yeah, I grew up, and then his mom told me, he's oh yeah, Brandon has a clothing brand. You should help him out. And it was Thanksgiving Day. She told me, and she knew I was going to fit him. She's oh, maybe you can help out Brian with the designs. Yeah. I was all right, bet. So I hit up my cousin, and then I basically all through my film career, I established Compound, the logo, the text. First it was Compound, and then it was Compound Distribution, and then I shortened it to District. But yeah, and then
I remember I used to get the Compound District shirts with the lion. Yeah, that was one of the first logos.
Very first ones, yeah.
With the lion, with the box logo. Yeah, on the pro clubs or whatever type of shirts back then. We're at a young age, navigating the resources. To get the machinery to embroider or silk screen, where to get the product for wholesale, and then resell that after you put your artistic spin on it. Where did you learn that from?
So it all went back to me when I got arrested. I got what's it, community service. Okay. So community service, they would give me how many hours I have to do, but I had to do a program. And in this program, they would teach us the laws of just the laws in general, how don't talk to cops about certain things. You know what I mean, graffiti laws, all that stuff. So even from a young age, I kind of knew all that stuff. And then there's these two guys, Raul and Leo. They were there, and they were teaching us those laws and stuff like that. Okay. And Leo has the lab, which I still work at this day. And ever since then, so after it was that was my junior year, and then from there, I basically just never got out of contact with Leo. And then he's the one that helped me with my entrance project. So he has a shop that does screen printing and all
Is that what you reference as a lab?
Yeah.
His spot is the lab?
Yeah. So that's his shop. And then ever since then, I was like 15, 16, just every day, just go there, just hang out. I was super shy. Like, he was always busy. Like, I'm like, I'm here to help. I'm here to do my project. And then you're just so busy. I'm just like super shy. And then, but years went on and then just basically never left. I've been there for, about 15 years now.
Wow. So power relationships, I always say too, like, you know, we meet the right people at the right time sometimes as an entrepreneur, and you need those relationships because we don't know everything. We got to be resourceful, you know, when it's time to generate and create a check, you know, and but surviving in streetwear brands, especially like in 2024, like so much has changed with not only the way, like, when you were first giving me your, I was buying it, they were like hand to hands, right? Like we're doing hand to hands. There's no
out the trunk, everything.
Out the trunk. There's no way to market your product, right? There wasn't the social media platform 14 years ago.
It was mainly like, I guess, like guerrilla marketing, like shit like that.
Word of mouth. Out the trunk.
Mouth,
Hey, who's that? Oh, hit my boy Frankie up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like now, how has that changed for you? And, you know, like, and how have you kept up with those times? Because a lot of businesses don't make it through decades of transition and change, you know, and how have you been able to survive? And actually, you've been thriving, right?
Yeah. You have to basically, like, I would tell everyone, either adapt or you die. Like,
facts.
It's all it is. Like,
facts.
You can't, like, be that stubborn person and be like, okay, it worked for me 10 years ago. It's going to work today. Like, no, like, it's not the way it is.
Yeah.
So basically just, I do a lot of events. So it's kind of like you kind of only can get my clothes at these certain events at certain times and everything. And then between those events, like, I'll drop maybe one or two pieces just to, like, so I'm, like, completely out of the picture.
Yeah, you
so
know, kind of unrelevant.
Still, exactly. So still stay relevant to a sense and then still build up. So I do events like maybe every 3 to 4 months and then go from there. But yeah, then I drop my website probably this month. It's already all designed, ready to go. Like, I literally just wait to push live.
So wait, I got to stop you. You've never had a website to this point?
I've had a website twice.
Okay.
For about 4 years. Once for 2 years, and I stopped, and then another one for 2 years, and that was probably like last year. Or like 2 years ago I stopped. And then now it's just like I just do events. That's why I just sell more. So it's more like exclusivity and everything. So,
I mean, I like that. I mean, with so many brands, you know, e-commerce is huge now, right? Because you can get your product out there with a couple taps, you know. So, you know, I commend you for, like, you know what I mean, you stuck to your vision to making
but now
your
I'm
things,
adapting though.
Now
I'm not going to be stubborn and be like, okay, no.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah. So I'm still going to do that. So I have like a whole team now that I'm kind of forming that's going to be printing for me. Like marketing. I have my boy George doing like my website, helping me with all that, the back end of it. But yeah, shipping, printing, like it's gonna be a point where like my whole goal in reality at the end of the day is just to design. Yeah. Like I'm tired of screen printing. Like my hands, I'm sure I have the youngest person with arthritis already.
Yeah, I get it. Like, there's things that in my everyday business that I'm tired of doing. Yeah. And that gets me to my next point. You talk about building a team around you, which takes some time. Like, how are you with delegation? Because that's hard. Like, for me, that was hard because these are our babies. We care so much about them, and I'm sure it's even more for you with these being your artistic creations, right? These are pieces. These aren't just T-shirts or hoodies. These are pieces. These are artistic pieces. And how are you with delegation and, you know, trusting your team to do the marketing, to do the shipping so it gets there on time? Because they're all representation of you at the end of the day. You're the brand. Yeah.
I didn't know what delegation was ever. I mean, I knew what the term meant, but I didn't know what it was or like how to do it until I had the food truck. That's when like I had like, so before the food truck was always compound, but I did everything by myself. I did A to Z, buy, sell, ship, drop off, design, everything. So I had really nothing to delegate. Yeah. And then now the food truck came and I was like, I can't do that. Like I have Palmer, he does his thing. I have like the cashiers, I have people that clean the truck. I have people that help cook. Just like everyone's just helping on the truck. And all my friends know, like, I'm very straightforward. Like, they call me an asshole or, like, whatever it may be. But, like, end of the day, like, shit has to get done. Like, I'm very direct. Like, I'm not wasting no time. Like, you're here for a reason. You want to get paid. I want to get paid. I'm not going to fucking beat around the bush. Like, it is what it is. So, it being the food truck being like a very, very fast paced business. Like I had, like I said, there was no time to be like, oh, can you do this? Like, no, this should just get done. Don't get out of the way. I'll do it myself.
Yeah.
So as years went on, like I got better at it, and my friends knew that I meant no harm. Like it was just it was straight business.
That's important.
Yeah, it was strictly business, nothing personal, and they all understood.
Because it's not easy to do business with friends.
No, not at all.
You know, and I'm in the same boat too, friends and family at that that matter. Because like you said, like you got to be able to turn it off. I feel like I've always done fairly well with being able to, like when I walk out of here, whatever we went through.
Yeah. That's why I'm too,
it's over. Like it doesn't matter. It doesn't spill over into our personal relationship. Yeah. Don't take it personal because again, my intentions is as a leader of this ship to lead us to where we all feed our family. So I have the best intentions. Yeah. You know, but let's talk about the truck because you went from streetwear, building a fashion streetwear brand to the food industry. Yeah. And that's a completely different
that's crazy.
Market. And I've done the same thing with doing construction and then doing co-working. And I haven't had the success thus far that I would like to with the co-working because it's, I'm learning a whole new market. I'm learning, I have to generate new relationships to to facilitate, getting this place out there. Like for you, what was that, decision to like jump into that kind of into the food industry, to the food truck industry, and the time where also after like you guys were right around COVID or post-COVID where the food truck industry got super competitive. Yeah. Because restaurants were closed down. So a lot of the restaurants were turning into food trucks. Like, what was that decision?
It was so like I said, when I did a lot of events back then. And I would do I would sell clothes, and then I met Palmer. I don't know. I remember.
Shout out Matt. Yeah, Chef Palmer.
Yeah, Palmer. It was I can't remember, 15, 16, somewhere around there. And then so every time I do an event, I would need food. Like instead of just hiring someone or whatever, I would just Matt cooked. He would cook. He would sell food. I would sell clothes and have beer and just.
That's your event,
that's
right?
What it was. Yeah.
And you were this is the way you're releasing your product.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it was just a backyard barbecue every way. I did maybe 3 or 4, and he would cook, and I would sell clothes and do a thing. And the opportunity came about having a food truck, and we talked about it jokingly, those drunken nights, oh, I'm not down, you're down, and the company was like, fuck, actually, either you're really down or not, because it's gonna happen whether or not. So. Yeah, so we did that, and then he just let's do a food truck. I was like, all right. And then came up with the name and then the menu, and we started literally in the heart of COVID. Yeah. In the heart, literally in the midst of it. And it was crazy because I had my job. I was working at a sign shop, and it was steady income. I just got a brand new car. I just found out I'm having a baby. Yeah. She's pregnant in the midst of COVID, and
wow.
I'm just
a lot going on.
That was a lot. So this was a big jump. And so, and then, so the thing with the food trucks was that what helped us really well was because, it sucks to say, but what helped us blow up is because of COVID in reality, because we were at all the breweries, and all the breweries required all the breweries required a food truck to be open. For that, remember that rule was you have to eat in order to drink or something.
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't know how that made sense.
They were making up. I think they were making up shit as they go.
Yeah, literally. I was I guess if you eat food, you won't get COVID with beer.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Whatever.
So because of that, they had vouchers, food vouchers. So if you buy beer, you get $5 voucher for food, which made you spend that $5 on our food truck, but always spend more for the order.
Correct. I mean, you guys have. Filet mignon. Yeah. You guys have, food truck that's a hibachi grill. Yeah. That's one of the first that I'm aware of.
No, it is,
especially in this area.
Yeah, it was definitely the first hibachi truck.
You're not selling $5 plates. No. You know what I mean?
That $5 covered napkins for you guys. But yeah, so even if the people didn't use the voucher, we still got paid out the voucher at the end of the day. So, everyone was just tired of being inside. So we would be bum rush with people. We'd sell out every day, at Casa Agria, and wherever else we went, really. But yeah, it was just insane. We would just see money we've never seen before, people we've never seen before.
This had a huge support, man.
It was
during
nuts.
COVID. I mean, I remember I seen it. I was like, damn. I mean, he stepped out there, and then I seen Chef, and I was like, because I was going to Cafe Fiore at the time. Remember, he was working there.
He was head chef there. Yeah,
and I was like, damn. I bet you. And I remember we ran up on you guys at an event. And I was like, damn, this shit is no joke. Like, but we ran up, and it was like, oh no, well, we're sold out of this.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we're sold out of that.
I feel bad.
We're sold out of this. But that's a good thing, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just to see the steady growth, and then after COVID. Yeah. For you guys to build your brand during COVID in the restaurant, so to speak, industry at a time where like those in barbershops were like for me the toughest.
I bet, yeah.
Times for
because you have to
business owners during COVID.
You're like sitting there.
Well, and they were just changing things, right? You can eat, then you can't, then you have so many people, then you can't. It was just how do you run a business not knowing day to day where your revenue stream is going to come from, right? Or even the direction because someone else is making those decisions. And that's a different conversation for a different day. But being a partner, like you mentioned, you and Chef Palmer are partners. It sounded like you were a partner with your cousin for a while. Like, what is that like being in a partnership? Because partnerships are hard. Because things happen within the business, things happen within life that affect the business and affect the relationships of the business. Because, quite frankly, like money changes people, right? I mean, it just does for the good and for the bad, right? Yeah. But it does change. Like for people to say like, oh no, the money doesn't change. Man, that's bullshit. No. The money changes you. In my opinion is money only makes you more what you already are.
Exactly.
Right. And being in a partnership can be tough sometimes, and I've had failed partnerships. I've had successful partnerships. Yeah. And, how has your experience been in a partnership?
Don't do it with your best friend. This shit will put you through the ringer. You'll hate each other like no other.
It's tough, right?
The next minute you love each other. The next minute you don't want to ever speak to him again. Like, but in the day it was just like I think we were both different backgrounds. Like his upbringing, my upbringing, him being a cook and me being a designer. Like, so we just wanted different things at the same time. I had a different vision. He had a different vision. I think everything just happened so fast for us. Yeah. We didn't really know how to like
navigate it.
Navigate it and everything. And
you guys are just responding to the demand, right?
It was just like, if I would do it again, I probably would, but just slow it down and just take a different approach to it.
Correct. Yeah.
But in the day, like, I mean, it's no mystery. Like everyone knows, don't go to business with your partner. Like you said earlier, with your best friend,
it's hard.
Or your family.
It's hard.
Like, I thought I was to be the one to break the mold, but it's not easy.
I wouldn't necessarily say like, don't go to business with them.
Yeah,
I would say that only go to business with the people that you feel that you can trust, right?
Yeah.
Because like you said, you have your ups and downs, and that's inevitable, right?
Yeah.
But if you have that trust, which is the foundation of that relationship, like you can go through anything. Yeah. You know what I mean?
The trust was there. We definitely was there. Like we definitely trust each other. We just wanted the same thing, but we wanted to do it different ways.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Our
end goal was always an end goal, but
getting there.
Yeah, it was just, and that's what we argued about a lot. Yeah. But at the end of the day, like I would do it again. Like even now, it's no problem. Like
it's dope.
Now we're at a point where it's like we know what we want, we know what we don't want, and I feel like it won't be like that again.
Yeah. You've had the experience, right? The trial and error of every relationship or business. You go through those trial and errors, and the good people that learn from it can recognize like, oh yeah, that was me on that when I fucked this up. I won't. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I think that's what creates longevity in relationships too.
We definitely grew up. I don't regret any of it. Like, still my best friend. So
yeah,
it was good. But right now, I think just gourmet just on a hold right now. Mm-hmm. I just got really busy with screen printing and to take the truck out. I just like from 9 a.m. to 2 o'clock at night, just every day. And then I have my daughter. She's getting older. Yeah. She's realizing I'm not there as much as I used to be. So now I have to be more present, which I want to be. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it just
let's go into that because that's something else we share with girl dads, right?
yeah.
How did being just a parent change you? And then I always feel like for men, having girls does something to you. It changes you emotionally, right? Like like you have like this softer side. Like we grow up with all the like we want to be masculine, and we want to be men, but like you have this little girl, and you're like, all that shit goes away right then, right?
She's literally the my love of my life, my weakness, like it's crazy.
Can do no wrong.
Nothing she does wrong. Like she looks at me and I'm just like, all right, whatever you want. Yeah. Like we literally go to Target trips every like once a week, twice a week.
That's a $300 trip.
Oh, I know.
Every time you go to Target.
I try to get something for myself. I always forget. Just end up getting her Barbies.
Yeah.
Every time. But no, I love it. It's like she saved my life in other ways that she'll never know, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it's definitely changed me for the better. Makes me work harder.
Gives you something to work for, right?
Yeah.
Something like, or someone to work for, right?
Just like, I'm sure just like every guy wants a son. Mm-hmm. So like, I wanted a boy, but then once I had my girl, I was like, fuck, I want all girls now. I literally want all girls.
Just watch what you asked for.
I know, right?
Watch what you asked for.
Because she literally gives me love I've never experienced before in my life. Like, just unconditional, sees no wrong, doesn't know my history, my past, me being an idiot. Like, she just loves me for me. And then that's all.
Like, you can just be. You don't have to, like, perform. You can just show up, right? And there's no, like, there's nothing, like you said, would just put that unconditional love.
Yeah, I love it.
Work-life balance, right? Like you talked about running a truck, screen printing. You're doing stuff for Compound District. You take on jobs for other people as far as developing their merchandise. Like, how do you time manage? Like, where do you how do you balance it? And I ask everyone that question because I'm still trying to figure it out.
I am too. I figure it out every day, honestly. Day by day, I just play it. But either I could see her in the morning and then just go like play with her in the morning, just be present, and then go work all day, and then just see her at night. But yeah, I have I have my black book. If I write it down in that book, it will get done. If I don't write it down, it doesn't exist. I just have to write it down. But so
you're moving too fast.
Yeah,
I'm the same way. If I don't write it down,
I'm sorry, but
I forget too.
Yeah.
It's like, did you do? Shit, I forgot about that.
Yeah, but yeah, I dedicate days to like customer work, and then I'll do the truck, then I'll do Compound, and then but every day I try to either see my daughter or talk to her. So
of course that's mandatory.
Yeah,
but you're saying like you create a schedule, right?
Yeah.
Like you create a schedule, and like you have to prioritize those things that you have to get done. And as far as like hobbies, besides hanging out with your daughter, what are you into for hobbies? Because I didn't realize this until like recently. Because there's different phases of business, right? So when we start, we're just grinding 24/7. We don't even think about like anything but just creating the check. Keeping food on the table, keeping the plate full, and then like it changes to where, like you said, you get a team, you start to delegate, you have a little bit more time on your hands. You start to pick up hobbies, and then like now that I'm 40, it's like that time off or away from business and even is so much needed.
You need it for yourself,
to myself to give back to not only my business and my family, so like they get the best of me daily because that's what. Because
you're always drained.
Exactly. Yeah. So what do you do to rejuvenate or just kind of take your mind out of it? Do you still do art, like as far as graffiti, freelancing? You brought some metal in here that you cut up.
Yeah. When I get a free time, it's mainly just designing more Compound stuff. But as in hobbies, I picked up golf.
Oh, we got to go out and play then, I just started playing. I'm a COVID golfer, so I just started playing. I got the golf bug bad, man.
So did I.
Me and my fiance just got the opportunity to play Pebble Beach at
nice.
Kith Taylor Made event that was.
It was recently, right?
Yeah, it was. That was a once in a lifetime event.
I saw you there. Yeah.
Yeah, it was dope. But I got the golf bug. She has the golf bug too. Yeah, we got to go out and get around in. I get out there because the game is hard. It's so hard.
They say it's the hardest game in the world.
Yeah, and
you're doing 15 things before you hit the ball.
and it's one of those things where like if you go and check your phone or your email, like the next shot, you're definitely fucking it up, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you gotta kind of like
really
try to
yeah.
stay locked in, and
Yeah.
like it forces you to kind of disconnect. It
yeah.
forces me to disconnect because I'm competitive.
Yeah.
I'm very competitive, number one.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to be good at whatever I do, but then at the same time, like I'm not good at all. But they all, there's those one shots where you hit, you're like, hell yeah, I can do this.
Now, now I know why I'm in here. Yeah.
So golf is fun. What else? What else is there? That's dope.
Shit, no, honestly, just that. Honestly, just golf, designing. What else I do? It's pretty much it. I literally just work.
Yeah,
you're still much
working.
To even golf, it just is a mission. That's why I go to the range by myself, just to release.
Yeah,
I posted. I was like, I go to the range to relieve stress. I end up leaving more stressed.
Yeah,
because you're just like, fuck, I did bad. But
yeah, it's tough.
But it's still a good stress reliever. It's fun just to hit the balls, just hang out with the boys and. So that's one of my biggest things right now.
And I never thought like I would get into golf.
Me either.
Because man, my boy, man, that's some old folk shit. Man. I'm not doing that shit. Like I'm not getting out there going to play. And then like I love it. Like you know what I mean. I wish I would have started playing.
Me too.
Long time ago. I wish I could get my kids into playing because, like I said, it's just, and then like the different type of people that you meet. Mm-hmm. Right, because you say you go by yourself or you're at a range, you're innately gonna meet other people, and and you just meet people outside of your circle that could be later on resourceful for you in business. You just never know. So you're just putting yourself in different environments now than just our norm. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Compared to like just going to bars and you meet the same people and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like I'll go to the range and then like. I'll be hitting the ball wrong, and then some guy sees me and then kind of like coaches me.
Everybody's a golf coach, right? Everybody's
he ends up being like an owner of something big, and like end up being connected with him. So shit like that.
Happens like
I would never met him at the bar. Or, I don't know, somewhere else.
Yeah, and then you're actually at a setting to like have a conversation,
talk,
right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then like I said, if you're out there with the boys, you got a good foursome pause, and it's just a good time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what's next for Compound District, the truck, Gourmet District, and you personally? Like,
so I think, like I said earlier, I think Gourmet is going to put on pause for a little bit, just so we can get we got a lot of things in the back end to figure out, like as in like just financially and just like revamping our image, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't say it's gone forever because I mean we worked so hard to do it.
Yeah.
Palma worked really hard on it. I worked really hard on it. Everyone around us, all our people worked really hard. So just until they die, it's not really in us. So there's nothing wrong with just putting on pause and just come back stronger.
Yeah. Regroup.
It'll be worth it.
Yeah.
So with that being said, and then so my big announcement is kind of when I kind of want to be on here, just like to tell everyone.
Appreciate that.
Of course. I'm gonna end up moving to San Diego.
Love San Diego.
Yeah,
man.
Me too.
Love San Diego. I got an office out there.
Yeah. I love the water out there. Something out there is different. The water, the air, just everything.
Yeah, it's very similar to here, but
people say that. Yeah,
but it's bigger city. But go ahead with your announcement. My bad.
So be out there I'll be moving mid-July.
Damn, soon.
Yeah. So kind of short. I mean, kind of known for a little while, but things are moving pretty fast. Really, really fast. Just because I've been so busy. I just need to focus on San Diego now. Mm-hmm. But we'll be out there for a year. So now is going to be my only opportunity to. So for that past 15, 14 years, I've always done compound, but also customer work. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'd be like, oh, well, after I do this job, after I do these customer jobs, I'll get to compound. I've been saying that for 15 years.
Gotcha.
Compound's always the end of the list. Always, always. I do really good, but it's like, fuck. Then another job comes and I got to put it on the back burner. So this is my only opportunity I'll ever have, if not ever, to fully focus on compound. And I get a lot of people telling me I have really good designs. I'm really good. I truly believe I'm one of the best designers out in the 5. I really do think so. So
just a 5. I would say out.
Yeah, I think so. I really do think so. Yeah, I'm very humble, but there's times where it's all right. Dude.
Yeah, but you got we can't be if you're gonna be an entrepreneur, you have to have some type of self confidence. And it's with gratitude and humble, but Like, yeah, you got to have that. Who wants to follow someone that doesn't have confidence?
It's all shy and everything.
Yeah.
No, I definitely one of the best designers out here. Like, I designed some crazy shit. Like, some designs take like 8, 6 hours, 12 hours a day. Mm-hmm. But yeah. So now was my first opportunity to do it solely. Even if I wanted to be out there and screen print, I can't because I don't have a warehouse. I don't have a screen printing machine. Like, I'll design remotely for people, which is at the end of the day still my goal. Because go back to day one, I'm a designer. You know what I mean? Not a really screen printer. I mean, I am now, but
that's where it originated. You're a designer.
Yeah. That's my like home base. So that's what I want to stick to and just be better at that. Yeah. So I'll be out there for a whole year. And then, depending on how it works out, we'll see. We either move back or we'll see how it play by ear, I guess.
So are you gonna be out in San Diego throwing events for the compound district?
Yeah. So my plan right now is just I go out there next week to look for apartments, and so either just hook up with like local breweries, do events, or just like a lot of flea markets, and then talk to shops, see if I can put my stuff in there, and then I'll have my website up by then, so it'll just be all just like kind of like you said, e-commerce, stuff like that. So, but yeah, just designing, just do events, pop-ups.
Just grind, right? Just get back to that
100%, 100%.
Do what you already know how to do, right?
So that's the thing too. I would say, like, good thing I'm moving out there having the knowledge I already have. It's not like I'm moving out there not knowing how to design, not knowing how to screen print. Like,
you're not
I already know everything.
Yeah. You got a lot of experience. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean, to go with this move. So it's not like it's a risk, because it is a risk because you're moving to a new territory. But like you said, it's a calculated risk. Yeah. Why San Diego?
So we're going because Steph, she's getting her doctorate. So before she graduates, she has to do an externship. So she applied all over around the country, like I think the East Coast, like Oregon, like over here, and then she obviously applied like LA, Ventura, but I guess it's super competitive because she's from Kowloon. Yeah. So she got accepted to SDSU. Okay. So she's gonna be a psychologist. So she's gonna be like an on-site psychologist.
That's dope.
So
you're also going out there to support your girl? Mm-hmm. That's dope, because there's so many times where women, move around to support their man, and that's dope that you're doing the same so your girl can do her thing. Yep. And you're willing to say like, all right, well, I got enough built up, and I got enough in my shit. I can do this wherever, because I feel the same way. Like, I can go wherever and I'll be fine. You know what I mean? Like, I start from the ground floor. I know where I need to go, how I need to move to get where I need to go. You know what I'm saying?
We'll be my dream come true, stay home dad.
That's harder than you think, though, fam.
I know.
Especially when you got the young ones, man. Well, I wish you all the success down in San Diego. I'm out there too. I'm usually out there a couple of times a month. Oh, I have an office down there, so we'll definitely link up.
Play some
golf.
What
I'm saying? Play some golf.
Let's do it.
They got beautiful golf out there.
Yeah.
If you ever need any, to need anything, we got resources down there.
Whatever you got, I'm down for it.
You know what I'm saying? And but tell the people where we can follow you, where to find you on your socials, and
So another announcement is before I move, I'm having, I guess, my last compound event here. It's gonna be as of right now, it'll be July 5th at the new lab, because we're moving from Sataquid to Oxnard. So it'll be July 5th. I'll put the flyers out, and that day probably like drop my website, but social media is Cmpnd _MMX. So that's my Instagram, and then from there you just kind of see all the stuff I post and go from there.
That's what's up, man. Well, Collab District, man, make sure you come out and support July 5th. Frankie, Compound District, somewhat of a going away party. We'll see him soon again. Yeah. He's going to build his brand down south, expand. I wish you nothing but the best. The most important thing that we have in this world is time. So I appreciate you spending your time with me today, sharing your story. Hopefully that I always do these to hopefully inspire someone. So before we leave, in the episode, tell your younger self, or somebody, a young Frankie, some game. Like, what would you tell the younger self, or that younger Frankie that's ambitious, just to leave it off with something?
Work smarter, not harder, and you're almost there.
Yeah.
Don't quit. You're almost there. I can see the tip of the iceberg. And even though it seems a little farther, but it might be closer than you think.
Well, there you have it, man. Tap in with us on YouTube, Spotify, podcast, wherever you get your podcast. Collab